It is scheduled for 12 rounds, and it will be for the British, Commonwealth, and vacant European Heavyweight Championships. Brought to you by Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry Promotions, along with their great sponsors, 32 Red, Foot Asylum, and Unibet. It is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, steward in charge and supervisor Charles Giles, timekeeper Bob Edgeworth. Our 3 judges assigned, scoring on a 10-point must system, will be Victor Laughlin of Scotland, Mark Lyson of England, and John Latham of England. When the bell rings, our referee in charge, third man in the ring, will be Ian John Lewis of England. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the time has arrived. Live from the iconic Church House in Westminster, this is our main event of the evening. Introducing to you first, the challenger fighting tonight out of the red corner. He's wearing white with multi-colors and weighed in at 18 stone, 6 pounds. Hailing from Putney, London, England, he was a 2016 Olympic silver medalist, and now as a professional, he is undefeated with 11 wins. 10 of his 11 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the undefeated former Commonwealth, WBA Continental, and WBA Gold Heavyweight Champion, Joe the Juggernaut Joyce. And his opponent across the ring in his main event, he is the defending champion fighting tonight out of the blue corner, and he comes to the ring wearing black with gray. His official weight, 17 stone, 6 pounds. Hailing from Greenwich, London, England, he is undefeated with 15 wins. 14 of his 15 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the current WBO International, WBC Silver, British, and Commonwealth Heavyweight Champion, Triple D, Daniel Dynamite Dubois.
I'm the referee. I spoke to you both in the dressing room. I obey my command at all times. You both know the rules. Lift them heads, kick the punches up. And when I shout break, you break clean. And remember, defend yourselves at all times. Shake hands.
Steely glare from both men. I don't think either of them blinked, Richie.
No, not indeed.
You can just sense the tension in the air. And who's going to make the better start? That is key.
Seconds out.
Here we go. Joyce, the taller man. Both of them with that quality left-hand lead. Will Dubois do as many people predict and just go in there looking for the big early punch, or will it be more of a chess match?
Well, Joe Joyce has got the slight advantage in terms of reach, a couple of inches more than Dubois, but Dubois seems to have a better jab. I think that's the general view of most people, that Dubois' jab is very good indeed. It's accurate. But what will Joyce do here? Will he just keep coming forward, or will he tend to box at range and try and out-jab Dubois? Interesting stuff.
Wouldn't be a surprise if they just take a look at each other in these early seconds. Dubois, the Olympic silver medalist. Sorry, Joyce, the Olympic silver medalist. Dubois, the man who has learnt it all as a professional.
I think what's important for Joyce here, John Early, he's got to He's got to land that jab against Daniel, because he's taking a few risks coming forward here. He's Joyce. Most people thought this is how Joyce was going to box anyway on that front foot, but that's the whole reason why Daniel Dubois has a better chance to land in that right hand as Joe Joyce is coming forward. So he's got to be careful, and if he works with his jab, Joyce, he's got to hit the target. He can't afford to miss and fall in.
Joyce doing okay in the early stages of this first round. There's a better jab from Dubois. Heard, I think, the voice of his sister Caroline shouting out from somewhere on the balcony, urging Daniel Dubois on. A little bit of reddening around the face of Dubois already from the accuracy of this left-hand lead of Joe Joyce, who's making a good start.
Yeah, he's boxing well at range at the moment, is Joyce. And that jab to the body is a good shot also. So Dubois just can't get that 1-2 going just yet. And you see, that's a slight mistake. Gets away with it there, does Joyce. And Dubois now sensing he's probably losing the round slightly, and so starts to come forward, trying to land that right hand.
Fascinating open round. And Joyce going well so far. Dubois maybe just waiting for Joyce to commit himself to have the opportunity to land that big right hand. He's not really established his jab as well as you might have expected so far, Richie.
It's clever boxing from Joyce at the moment. He's boxing at distance. He's not coming over the front foot too often, you see, John. And that's limiting Dubois' chances of landing the big right hand. That's a good round for Joyce.
Oh, passing. Joyce with the early advantage, and now Dubois comes forward trying to land bigger shots and trying to impose himself maybe physically in this second round.
Yeah, his corner have said, haven't they, most certainly to get closer to Joyce and put him under a little bit of pressure. That's what they've told Daniel Dubois there. It's a faster start to the round for Dubois.
He was certainly very respectful with his approach in the opening 3 minutes, and Joyce's tactics were able to give him the edge. That's a good right hand from Dubois.
Yeah, maybe he's showing a few nerves as well in that opening round, Daniel Dubois. But he's certainly, whatever they've said to him in the corner, he's responded well here. He's upped the work rate a little bit, and he's getting to Joyce a little bit now. How will Joe Joyce react to this now, John?
More purposeful look to Daniel Dubois in the first minute of this second round. No real power shots landed from either man so far. It's been a tactical battle thus far. Joyce just trying to take the rhythm out of Dubois with that left-hand lead.
Well, he started the round better, did Dubois, and that's a better right hand. Just as I said, he's taking his foot off the gas, then he lands a good shot. First real good shot on Joyce there.
Referee hadn't said break, and Joyce trying to tie him up, and Dubois was in his right to land big shots when they appeared to be clinching, and now these are the first dangerous moments for Joe Joyce.
Yeah, good right hand from Daniel Dubois. Found his range with it. It's when he just takes his foot off the gas and allows then Joyce to come back with those jabs, those peppering jabs, that he may have a few problems. But a good round up to now for Daniel Dubois. He's reacted to his corner most definitely, brought his right hand into play, and they'll be a little bit more pleased.
Looking again for that big chopping right hand, this time just went through thin air. Joyce is not a quick man. He's being urged forward, Dubois, by his corner. They feel that he's really on top here, and Dubois lands with another solid right hand. This time it's Joyce who wants to backpedal.
Yeah, Joyce is just concentrating on keeping the gap now, and that's why he's just moving away and throwing that jab. He knows if he goes forward, if he misses, if he walks onto that right hand from Dubois, it doubles the power up. That's why he's on the outside, just trying to take the sting out of the punch. There was an example there.
Managed to get his gloves up just in time, Joyce, and take the power out of that right hand. Last few seconds, couple of shots to the head from Joe Joyce, but that was
a mistake from Joe Joyce misses the target and then gets caught, and then Dubois then follows up a couple of good shots to the body, and this was a positive response from Daniel Dubois. Look, so there's that left hand to the body from Joyce, doesn't hit the target, it's a little bit slow, and Dubois comes back with that right hand. Good round for Dubois.
Third. Fireworks are going to come, you can be sure. There's a good right hand from Dubois. He's looking for him now, and another. And Joyce is having to cover up. He's caught by a left hand to the head as well, and the power shots are starting to come in here from Dubois. Martin Bowers said the biggest of oak trees will come if you keep peppering it with chopping blows, and that is what Dubois has been able to do.
Yeah, tremendous stuff, but now he needs a little bit of a rest, so he's exerted a lot of energy there, has Dubois, and he hasn't chopped the tree down, so to speak. Joyce is still there, so it was a little bit of a gamble, but yes, he went for it there. A couple of big shots.
Good jab from Joyce that time. Fascinating fight, and whoever you fancy, you're still going to be thinking your man has got a great chance. Perceived wisdom was that the further this fight went, the more you'd fancy Joe Joyce.
Yeah, I think Dubois has got to move his head just a little bit more. There's reddening on his face. Those are the jabs from Joyce.
That was coming in the first round.
Yeah, but it's the straight 1-2 from Dubois that's causing the big problems for Joe Joyce, especially when he quickens his feet up, moves into range, then throws it with a lot of venom, that combination.
Joe Joyce with the fantastic amateur pedigree. Daniel Dubois had virtually none as a senior amateur, although he has been fighting and training since a very early age. Learnt as a professional, just blowing a bit heavily in there in this third round. He put a lot into that opening stanza.
Yeah, he really went for it, didn't he? And he's feeling the pace a little bit. And Joe Joyce just clawing it back a bit with those jabs.
And he's not called Juggernaut for no reason. He's a big man who just keeps on coming. Dubois telegraphing that right hand a little, and that's a better jab from Dubois. Needs more of those. That ramrod left lead he thought was going to be a big weapon to his advantage. He's not really made it tell, apart from at moments in that second round.
No, he's got a great jab, as Dubois, but it's Joe Joyce that's producing the jabs. To be quite honest, it's the right hand counters and the right hand in the attacks with the 1-2 from Dubois. That's his best punches.
Dubois had that flurry at the beginning of this third round, but Joyce has been stronger. But now a couple of decent headshots from Dubois, with the clock ticking down to end this third round. Well, good round. And a good round in the latter stages for Joe Joyce.
Here, John, of Dubois going for it. Landed a couple of good shots, didn't he? Looked right uppercut there, another right hand. But we know how tough Joe Joyce is, and he had to show his toughness here. He comes through this storm, and then towards the end of the round, that was a little bit low from Dubois. There's that left hook. It was a good attack from Dubois. It was early on in the round. He really went for it, but Joyce come through it. And then he peppered him with the jab. So that's why I gave it an even round. He came back.
Joyce really came back strongly in the middle. Sound, strength and power as we move now into the fourth. And on Rich's card, this fight's absolutely level. 1 round each with 1 level. I think there's an argument that Joyce could have edged that last round, but who knows? 3 judges, they're the ones who will determine it. If it goes the distance, and that is a sizable if.
Most Dubois fans will be hoping and thinking that he will win this contest within 4 or 5 rounds. I think most people think that if it goes over that, then Joyce has a better chance of victory. It's not a foregone conclusion, because we know Daniel, he's been 10 rounds before against Kevin Johnson. You know, and he has improved in his stamina, but most people think that if it goes over 5, then the tide will turn for Joyce.
Only just off target with that right uppercut, Dubois. The power is in that right hand of Daniel Dubois, Triple D. That time it was blocked by Joyce, but the left putted into the solar plexus. good from Joyce, doubling up on that left-hand lead and a bit more head movement than they sometimes associate him with.
Yeah, just made a mistake there. Just launched from too far away with that right hand. Joyce just fell short. Just falls into Daniel Dubois. But Daniel's probably surprised at how accurate that Joyce jab is and how frequent it is. It's always in his face. He's out jabbing Dubois, who has a terrific jab himself. But on this occasion, the jabs are coming from Joyce.
Well, it's a big weapon for Dubois, and it's being taken away from him right now by Joe Joyce. Good accuracy from range from the big man from Putney. Plenty of support for both men in this arena here, set in the historic church house in Westminster. And you can really hear the power of the punches as well as they thud home. Big night for Ian John Lewis, the referee.
Yeah, and another close round this is, John. It really is. Dubois seems to be doing well with the 1-2s when he's throwing them, but again, Joyce just picking up the points. See, that one missed there, but he's picking up the points, Joe Joyce, with these jabs. There's another one.
Daniel Dubois' face is definitely starting to mark up a bit, and that's a testimony to the accuracy of the jab. Good right hand taken well by Joyce, and as he goes that Joe Joyce is able to produce.
Yeah, he knows he's in a real fight here, and he's being out jabbed at the moment. And as I say that, then he starts to land a couple of good jabs of his own.
Referee a little bit worried, I think. What are we worried about here? Too much fluid on the floor.
Yeah, bit of water in the corner.
I am the referee, as Ian John Lewis says, and he's now happy, so we're underway again. That's better from Dubois. Good jab, followed by the overhand right.
Yeah, and his eye, it's not closing, but there's still a little bit of swelling on that left eye of Dubois. John, he's starting to find that right hand again now. I think he's timing that shot better, especially when Joyce is throwing the jab.
Jimmy Tibbs acting as the cutsman in that corner, vastly experienced. That's in the Joe Joyce corner, and of course we've got Martin Bowers in Daniel Dubois' corner, and it's there that the greatest damage is having to be dealt with.
I think Dubois starting to use his jab better now, John. He's trying to just time it and make Joyce just fall short with his jab and then come back with fast counters, but he's certainly doing more work with the lead hand now, Dubois, and that should set up that right hand.
Lovely fast left hand lead from Dubois, and this now has the makings of a very good fight indeed. A long way still to go. Dubois having to dig deep after Joyce has had the advantage in the early exchanges of this fight, and that is not how many people thought it was going to be.
No, you're right there, John, but there, good work again from Daniel Dubois. He's being more accurate now with his jab. Both are feeling the pace a little bit.
He's really having to dig in here and bite on his gum shield, Dubois. More anxious times in these first 4 rounds than in the whole of his career. The Joyce camp were saying that this fight had come too soon for Daniel Dubois. He should have had a Bryant Jennings or somebody of that sort before going to fight somebody of Joe Joyce's stature. That's better from Dubois.
Yeah, he's having a better round here. Dubois is beating Joe Joyce to the punch. On a lot of occasions, cracking right hand there from Dubois.
And testing Joe Joyce's chin. This is a really good round it's turning into for Dubois after a very shaky fourth. And Dubois just wanting to tie him up. And Daniel Dubois, you can see that swelling of the left eye, but he's had a good round.
Good round indeed, big shots going in. But good round for Daniel Dubois.
The 6th round. Key moments in the fight, Richie. Who's going to establish dominance now? Dubois put a lot into that last round.
Yes, he did, and again, he's starting this round very positively on that front foot and trying to land that right hand over the top.
I love that line from Martin Bowers in that corner when he said, "This is the fight game, right?"
Absolutely, yeah. You know, Martin Bowers very experienced, so he's just reminding Daniel Dubois that this is it. It's
Good
the
little
biggest fight of his
right-hand
career.
counter inside from Joyce there in that exchange. Joyce is using that long reach well. He's got a 2-inch reach advantage and he's making it count.
Daniel Dubois, again, when he lands that right hand, John, just dips his head, just slips to the left with his head and then whips that right hand over. That's a good shot again from Dubois.
Joyce's chin being tested and he takes it though.
Yeah. Just holding on there. Clever Joyce, took a good shot.
Absolutely level on Richie's scorecard. And we're coming up to the halfway stage of the fight. Is it going to be the fitness and engine and experience of Joe Joyce which is going to prevail? Daniel Dubois is having to eat so many of those jabs.
He's boxing well at range here, Joe Joyce. I think Dubois again, he's slowed his feet down. He's got to quicken his feet up. He's got to close that gap.
And again, that left eye begins to swell more. I wonder how much of a factor that could turn out to be the further the fight goes. The left eye of Daniel Dubois. Good shot from Dubois, nice right hand.
Yeah, a little bit of movement to the side again and find the target with that right hand, a quality punch.
Referee trying to let the action flow, just telling them to stop holding, letting them fight away out of the clinch without calling break. Well, another interesting round this one, and not a lot between them. Good from range for Joyce. Dubois with one or two quality power.
Yeah, a good shot there from Dubois as they came away from the clinch. Joyce just making the mistake of just dropping his hands a little as they broke, and Dubois catches him. There's Dubois leaning to the left, as I said before, that little slip, and then whips that right up.
Daniel Dubois with the DDD around his waist. Good right hand again from Dubois, and Joyce walked straight into that. It caught him pretty flush, and an uppercut, and now comes the big toe-to-toe exchange.
Yeah, tremendous work there from Dubois, but will he let Joe Joyce off the hook again? Joe Joyce, he's teeth tough, he comes through it, and you see Daniel, he's exerted a lot of energy again. Will this build up, John, where, you know, he's going to tire himself out? He goes for it, he lands big shots, but he doesn't get the job finished.
Well, he was told to go out there and produce a big round. It was needed, and when he lands those shots, the opponents he's had so far in his career have usually crumbled. Not Joe Joyce. Another good combination from Dubois, who's really producing something here. It's a tremendous effort from the champion.
Looking for that right hand again. Joyce has got to keep moving round to his right, away from that right hand of Dubois. Dubois tends to move to his left and slips to the left and then whips the right hand over. Joyce has got to move away from it, John. Got to keep going around to his right.
Tell you what though, Richie, that's reaching the point here. Well, Daniel Dubois' vision is surely beginning to be affected by that swollen left eye.
Yeah, he's producing the better shot, the quality work. The eye-catching stuff is from Dubois. But in between that volume, little jabs here and there, poking in his face from Joyce. And as I say that, Dubois lands a cracking jab.
It's still open for both men, and that's a good combination from Joyce this time. Right hand finding the target towards that damaged left eye. Did Dubois see it, I wonder? This has been a huge effort from Daniel Dubois here in this round.
Big round. Fitness is going to play a real big part here, John. If he knocks Joe Joyce out, okay, but if Joe Joyce keeps coming through these storms, then towards the end of the contest, he's never been 12 rounds, remember, Daniel Dubois. But he's won this round. This has been a quality round for him.
But he's not got him out of there. He's landed big shots and landed them flush, and Joe Joyce is still in there, spearing him with that left-hand lead. Last few seconds of another dramatic round, and a round which I'm sure you're going to say. Here in the 8th round, 12-rounder, of course, with British, Commonwealth and the vacant European titles at stake. Somehow it feels like more than that's at stake.
Yeah, it's a proper British Commonwealth European title fight. I remember being brought up on them as a kid, watching the Wednesday night sports nights, Harry Carpenter days, these type of contests.
Ian John Lewis not happy at some of the work that Daniel Dubois was producing there. Dubois jabbing so much more effectively than he was early on.
Yeah, he's having to really work, isn't he now, Dubois? Just to keep Joe Joyce off balance, if anything.
Younger man by 12 years, Daniel Dubois.
Nice little shot, sharp, short right hand from Joe Joyce there.
Fireworks from either side could still be decisive. Is the fight going to, against all expectations, go the distance? The 8th round from here on. Most people were thinking this could be Joe Joyce territory. On Richie's card, he's trailing, so he needs a big finish to the fight. And for the second time in the round, Dubois told off about illegal tactics.
Yeah, just a low shot again, little left up downstairs, but it was low. Ian John Lewis doing a good job there, telling Dubois to cut it out. And again, probably the more work, the volume's coming from Joyce again. But it's what you prefer. Do you prefer those quality shots?
Just wonder if Dubois maybe taken his foot off the gas a bit in this round, having put so much into the last.
Yeah, he's just been outworked a little bit here.
Joe Joyce just keeps plugging away. Good jab from Dubois, and the right hand to follow up. Good round, both men having their moments and both landing big shots right up to the bell.
Daniel in this round. There's some eye-catching stuff from Dubois, but probably not enough of it. A little short 1-2 there from Joyce, who's boxing well at range. Volume's coming from Joe, the quality shots, the eye-catching stuff's coming from Dubois. But I just thought he'd
be that it is absolutely dead level at this point. Joyce still up on his toes and still looking as though he's got plenty in the tank. Good jab.
Well, I said in the pre-fight program that we did yesterday that if Joyce is going to win this contest, he's got to do things differently. He's got to revert back to that in and out stuff, and that's what he's done tonight. He's boxed quite clever, I think, Joyce, on the outside. Most people thought he was just going to march forward, but you know, he hasn't won an Olympic silver medal for nothing. He has got a good boxing brain, and he's used it tonight. He's boxing at distance. And yes, I think Dubois is still very dangerous, but he's done what his opponent didn't think he was going to do. He stayed at range.
Good jabs by Joyce. Boxing well here in this 9th round. The Olympic silver medalist, who to many people's eyes who watched that Olympic final in Rio, he was very unlucky not to come away with the gold.
Yeah, absolutely. I commentated on it. Desperately unlucky.
Is it going to be his night? Dubois has given an awful lot. And you can see, just looking at the two men, who has taken the more damaging shots.
Pace has just slowed a little bit in this round. That's probably suiting Dubois, if anything. I think Joe Joyce himself has just took his foot off the gas slightly, and that's probably favoured Daniel Dubois. As I say that, nice 1-2 from Joyce.
Doing a lot though, Dubois, is he? Waiting for Joyce to commit himself, looking for the opportunity to launch one of those big overhand right hands, maybe.
Again, though, Joyce moving to his right, he's moving away from the shot. There, as I speak, then he just takes the sting out of that because he's moving away. His movement is better, you see. Obviously, you risk walking onto a left hook, but Daniel hasn't really thrown that. He hasn't threatened with that shot. It's the right hand that he's really looking for. So with Joyce moving to the right, he's moving away from it, and it's just taking the sting out of it, John.
It's a better left-hand lead from Dubois that time. But here comes Joyce again, fighting for the full 3 minutes of the round, right the way up to the bell, and finishing strongly, and Dubois absorbing some punishing shots in the last few seconds of that round, and you it just edging to Joe Joyce. It is that sort of fight. It is very close, but Joyce looks the stronger and looks the more sprightly as we enter the 10th.
I think Dubois has got to work a little bit harder, John. Yes, there are flashes of what he can do, and we all know that the power he's got, but he's probably not working hard enough, and he's just being outworked a little bit. Oh dear, it's the left eye, and he's gone down. He's gone down with a jab right on that damaged left eye, and down he goes. And it could be that it's all over right here. He's had enough, he doesn't want any more. And Joe Joyce, by stoppage, is the new British, Commonwealth and European champion. We asked whether that damaged left eye was going to be a decisive factor for Daniel Dubois, and so it proved. Joe Joyce, with the accuracy of the left-hand lead, has bossed this fight in the closing stages. After round 6, he came on strong, and Joyce is the man who has those big opportunities maybe next year. Unbelievable. I can't believe what I've just witnessed there. The way he went down, obviously, I think it was from a shot where it just, look at his eyes completely closed. Did it close literally as that shot was landed and he couldn't see out of it and thought, I just can't see my opponent? That must have been the situation there.
I think it was extraordinary. I think it was just a left-hand lead.
So there, look, he gets one in the eye. Now he can't see. He goes down and takes the counter, doesn't get up. But look at it here. It looks like it's closed there. But that was a shot that was banged on the button. That was banged on that eye. And he looks up, doesn't seem to be able to see Joe Joyce, turns away, goes onto the knee. Let's have a look at it again from here, John. It's right on the eye, isn't it, that shot? Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Ian John Lewis counts him out, looks into his eyes. It's all over.
Joe Joyce did his trademark celebratory vault, and his